old phone, new phone.
There's no battery in that phone. No power. Plug it
First
in.
flip phone.
All right, guys, we're live.
Good evening, Somers, and welcome to our work session and organizational meeting of Thursday, January 7th, 2021. We finally got to 2021, thank goodness. If you'd please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to make a motion to open our organizational meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Patty, roll call.
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Here.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchie.
Present.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Here.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Here.
Supervisor Rick Morrissey.
Present. Our first order of business will be to open public comment on the organizational meeting. So I'll make a motion to open public comment.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And so moved. Okay, as we've done in the past, if there's no one in the
I'm
queue
sorry.
right now-
Supervisor,
Yes,
can we close public comment here? We're going to have public comment again in the work session.
okay, sure. So is there anyone here for public comment? Paul?
Stand by. We
Then,
do have two people that joined the meeting, Linda Whitehead and Enrico DiNardo. Are you
No,
here?
they're here for an application.
Yeah, that's for an application, okay.
All right, sorry. Nobody else.
Okay, all right, then make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Okay, now we will begin the arduous task of going over our procedures for,
Basically Rick reads for 20 minutes.
well, guess what? There has been a star in our midst that we've all enjoyed her reading of the
Oh,
announcement.
all right.
She will guide us through the procedures for the Town of Somers organizational meeting.
Excellent.
Town Clerk Patty,
Congratulations, Patty.
take it away.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start at procedures. And the procedures goes as follows. Setting the schedule for the town board meeting, adopting the town board meeting's format, schedule of audit of claims, submission of agenda items, submission of agenda items continued, vacancy announcements, designation of official newspaper. With the exception of the designation of the official newspaper, the above mentioned have to do with our agenda and when things are produced to be put on our agenda. Nothing has changed.
Excellent. So should we adopt this now?
So that is our first portion, which is procedures.
Should we-
Yeah, I know nobody's going to like this, but
That's a good lead in.
That's a good. That's
I
a
know.
good
That's the
start.
way you
That's a
sell
good
something.
start,
That's
right? That's
You got me
gotta write it
interested.
down when you're
No,
selling.
whatever it is,
paper.
no.
that's it.
We conflict with the monthly Westchester meetings. And sometimes they are interesting topics. Is there any way that we want to consider, and I'm sure I'm the only one, some modification of this to allow that, assuming that they don't change their meetings with all the other towns in Westchester?
We went over this.
Many
Actually,
times we have.
But I remember our first
Excuse me,
term-
one
Sorry,
second.
Patty.
Just for clarification, you're discussing the date of the monthly meetings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sorry.
And we went, I mean, I think our first term, we went through that and we talked about moving into the first and the third Thursday. And I remember at the time, Joan Kazmierek we don't have Bob Keough on here, but I think it affected a lot of things having to do with when we pay
abstracts.
things and all that. And that's how come we've always sort of said, hey, we can't do it. And I don't know if it has to do with noticing or anything else like that, but I remember that was a big thing for the finance director at the time.
I think the school board also meets on the second, this latter part of the
No,
month,
they meet on Tuesdays.
on Tuesdays, latter part of the month. Okay. I did it for 6 years. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
That would be a conflict for me as well.
Wasn't gonna say.
Yeah, we don't care about that, Roland.
Okay.
You're hanging out with that guy who called before.
That's
Excuse
it.
me, Roland, I care.
so
I
But I
told
think
you, you
that's
wouldn't
been
like
the
my
issue every
idea.
time we talk about it. I need more clarification on, again, from probably most often the director of finance to just remind us why it was not a good thing to do in the past.
well, you brought up the issue about the finance director, our town attorney would have a conflict.
Right.
So I'm gonna make a motion, we adopt the procedures as read. And while, every 3 years, we host that meeting, so we'll all be in attendance.
Yes. Well, for example, the last time we did, there's a really interesting one by the county on the recycling, which I thought was great. Learned a lot of stuff. So that was one of the examples I was thinking of.
Right.
But
Well, look, may
it is
want
what it is.
we may want to entertain in the future designating a councilman to attend. Not attend our meeting if we have a quorum, and go to the Association of Towns meeting and bring back.
We're going to vote somebody off the island. They have to leave.
Yeah,
See you, Rich.
You're gonna rotate us.
It's been nice knowing you, Rich.
So Patty, you want us to
Tom, I'm
move
so
each of
worried
these?
after all these years. Anyway, I just want to bring it up. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
We're not changing.
Thank
But
you.
we should ask Bob if anything. That's a good point, Tom. And just to see if that's, if we can't, we can't. But I remember what you're talking about. I just don't remember the specifics of it.
No, neither do I.
So this 10-page agenda is going smoothly.
Sorry,
I'm kidding.
Patty already went through it great because we've already handled
she's read it all.
through
Right.
E and we're good. So Patty, we basically have to adopt A
Yes.
through E, and then
F.
F, we have to say who it is. So I make a motion, we adopt procedures A through E. Actually, A through F. F designates the Somers Record as the official town newspaper for the year 2021.
Perfect, thank you.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Rick, that's your question, Rick. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so moved.
So the next portion of the agenda has to do with financial. We have to designate our depositories, authorize the supervisor to be the signer on all the above accounts, Deputy Supervisor Tom Garrity as alternate signer, with the exception of the town clerk and the two court accounts. There is certificate of deposits, deposit funds, town auditors, which would be PFK, O'Connor and Davies, reimbursements, procedures, procurement policies and procedures, investment policy, including the Gatsby 34, state and county contracts purchasing procedures, set the police reimbursement rates, secret rates, authorize the superintendent of water and sewer to authorize him to do rental rates. We're going to affirm the New York State Local Retirement System Standard Workday and the Highway and Water and Sewer Maintenance Employee 8-hour, Summer Recreation Employee 6.5-hour, elected official 6-hour, appointed elected officials 7 hours, and all other employees 7 hours. That has to do with the standard workday. So that is all under financial.
I move that we adopt A through N on financial as listed.
Second.
Not-
As read. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
So now we have a series of items under highway. So it's the New York State contracts, the equipment rental rates, which I just went over for water, the spending limit, the agreement to spend highway funds, set the highway pay scale, announce the deputy superintendent highways, which Nick DeVito, the superintendent of highways, is announcing Thomas Deegan. And the superintendent of highways announces Kathy DeSisto as his secretary. That is all for that category.
Why don't you take this one, Anthony?
You want me to what? Appoint it? I would second it?
I make a motion
I
that
make
we
a mo-
accept,
Yeah, I second. Okay. make a
that we accept
motion.
highway A through G,
Oh, I see what you want me to do. Okay.
but I just did. it.
Second.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. So
Anthony
moved.
zonked out on us.
We just need Rick to remember to say all in favor.
There you go. And yeah, then I have to say so moved.
There you go.
I am up to appointments, which there's a series of different appointments, so I'm going to break them. And the first series is under supervisor. The supervisor announces the designation of Tom Garrity as highway superintendent. Look at that, Tom.
Wow.
Deputy
Thank you.
No
supervisor.
promotion here yet.
Hey, and Rich, just so you know, the jacket still fits.
Good. You made it through COVID.
What does the hat?
The hat does too.
The supervisor is announcing the appointment of Doris Jane Smith as town historian.
Hey, Patty, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second, just because I do want to say everybody knows Doris Jane Smith in town, but we have a lot of new people in town too. She does a phenomenal job. She could stop you on the street and tell you anything you want to know about the history of Somers. And so, her name tends to come up once a year when we're reappointing her to this position. But she really is a treasure of the town of Somers. And most people there know her if you haven't seen her in the schools as Mrs. Claus. I hope no young kids are watching this. And but she really does a good job. And we talk about her at other meetings when things come up. But this is the one time a year when we really do get to reappoint her and say what a fantastic job she does.
Yeah, agree.
And she, along with
History is
Santa
important.
Claus, put together, and along with our videographer, Paul, put together a Santa Visits Somers.
I did. I
video
saw it.
posted. And she would, that's again, going above and beyond. And that's Doris Smith.
Yeah, that is. Sorry, Patty.
That's okay. The supervisor announces the appointment of Kim DeLucia as his executive assistant. Those things do not need a motion. Those are the supervisor's appointments, and they were just announcements. The next two, I'm going to need a motion for. The supervisor annual report to the comptroller, and to authorize the town officials to attend the Association of Town meetings.
Okay, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to adopt 4 and 5 under number 5 appointments.
Second.
Number 6 appointments.
6, thank you. I have a second.
Still second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We
So
could
moved.
probably change town officials in number 5 to Rich Clinchy, but that's all right.
This is true.
I tried to attend.
Patty goes.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry,
working
Patty.
on my certification.
I apologize.
I've seen Roland there too.
Oh, okay, there you go.
The next one is just an announcement. This is, I announced the appointment of Linda Verderam as my deputy town clerk. And then C, D, E, and F are motions, which are the appoint Linda and I as election liaisons and register and deputy register of vital statistics.
I make a motion, we accept items C through F under
Appointments.
appointments.
Do we, how about B?
No, she
That's
said we don't
just
need to do B.
That's an announcement.
Got it? Okay.
That's
I
enough.
just need a
I'll
second.
second that.
Second.
And then the tax
Whoa,
receiver.
whoa, 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 Rick.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
We all agree,
Excuse me
okay.
by seconding.
I know, I think four.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Alright.
So moved.
4 people seconded it.
That's
That's
okay.
all right. Tax
Means
receiver
everyone's
Michelle
paying
McCurry
attention.
announces the appointment of Christine Rossiter as the deputy tax receiver. Now we're going to go into board affairs. So I'm just going to go through that. I'm going to actually do board chairs and committee chairs together. So bear with me.
Mhm.
Board chairs are architectural
Review.
John Alfonsetti, Kevin Westerman to Parks and Recreation, John Curry to Planning Board, Vic Canistra to Zoning Board, Richard Albach to Affordable Housing. The Bureau of Fire Prevention appoints we're appointing Tommy Tuma, Rob Russell, and Al Vigalotti. We are appointing Michael Barnhart to Open Space, Don Bleasdale to Somers Energy Environment, and Kathy Cucciarella to Partners and Prevention.
Okay, I will make a motion to adopt 1 through 6 and under board chairs, and 1 through 3 under committee chairs.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And just a word on our chairs and our committee chairs. These are outstanding volunteers, and they work, every one of them works very hard for the town, and it's very, very much appreciated. So
true.
And
We're
the
lucky we
overwhelming
have-
majority of them purely voluntary, which we certainly do appreciate.
And we're lucky that we have many who have been doing it for a while, so their expertise is at a very high level.
That's
And we appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to recognize that this is not just show up and be the chairman. I mean, there's a lot of preparatory work, leadership work. They're staffing their committees, they're running programs out and about during the month, doing all the homework that's necessary. It's just, it's laudable.
right, is it fair to say that the town is really run by its volunteers?
I heard that. I heard that.
I never heard that before.
I heard that.
I think I patented that phrase, so don't try to use it.
Little trademark next to it.
There you go. All right, Patty.
Our next group of items is appointments and contracts. So we are accepting the proposal from FP Clark. Our legal counsel is Baroni, Riley, Lewis, Stevens, Baroni, Riley, and Lewis. Don't tell, don't tell Mike left him out. Steve. We're renewing the contract with Surratt Dim, our planning consultant. We're renewing our contract with J. O'Connell Associates for a grant consultant. Capital Market Advisors will be our bond advisors. RDM Computer Consultants will be our computer service for the year of 2021. We are authorizing the extension of the ESI Group Employee Assistance Program. We're going to end there because next we have town board liaison. So let's do that. So that is A through G.
Who wants it? Go ahead, Rick.
I'll make a motion to move A through G.
Second.
Under appointments and contracts.
Under
Second.
appointment
Second.
contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. And bring it home, Patty.
So the supervisor has announced a list of town board liaisons for 2021. I'm sure you've all been notified. If anybody wants further information, it's available. But for the board members who are on there, typically Rick would say, do you want to change or do what have you? So you guys need to discuss this at this moment.
Right.
I'm fine.
And if you don't, you can always contact me at my office and we can speak about any kind of transfers or anything you want to do.
I like the breakdown.
Okay. So I'll make a motion.
No, that's your
No,
sure.
that's it. Yeah, okay.
So, but we do need a motion to appoint Barbara Lloyd as our service officer for the year 2021.
I make a motion to appoint Barbara Lloyd as our service liaison.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So moved.
And then our last item for our organizational meeting is with regards to salaries and standard work days. I touched a little bit on this in the earlier financial portion, but this is to set the resolution for the salaries and longevity payments for the town of Somers employees, and to acknowledge the regulation which defines the process of reporting work activities for elected and appointed. And that was that 6 hours, 6.5 hours, 7 hours that I read before.
Okay. Need a motion on that?
I do for each one of those, yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt salaries and standard workdays, A and B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
And
So,
that brings
Patty,
us,
Would it be appropriate to make a motion that in all future years, you are the one who reads out the organizational meeting?
That was good.
I'm fairly certain that was the fastest we've ever gotten through it in 14 years.
uh,
And highly professional.
Nice job, Patty.
Is that a
It had
critique?
affect to it.
No,
It's
not
Is that
good.
a
you, Rick.
critique?
Not you. We tend to talk more, and Patty,
Yes,
gets right to the
it's true.
point. It's not
It's
just you,
true.
it's all of us.
no
Yeah.
room for discussion. You want to discuss, just talk to me tomorrow. So that is our organizational meeting for 2021. If somebody would like to make a motion to close, we are all set.
I'll make a motion to close the
Second.
organization meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and so moved. And thank you, Patty, for announcements. Thank you.
Thanks, Patty.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to open the Somers Town Board work session, January 7th.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. We've done the Pledge of Allegiance. There is no public hearing. I'll make a motion to open public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So moved.
Patty, just so you know, this phone is not charging. I didn't break it.
It's been in a bag since the last time you gave it back.
Oh, okay, because I have it plugged in and it's not charging, so.
All right.
It's also probably an iPhone 5, but go ahead.
I think it's an iPhone 2.
Well,
So I'll leave it, Rick, I'll leave it plugged in over there, see if it gets a charge, just in case anybody's reaching out to us.
And that phone that you have, Tom, corresponds with the numbers that are on the screen right now?
No, it's just, I'm not sure what number it is. It's where we get texts and all.
Yeah, okay, because we have a bunch of numbers on the screen. I was just wondering where they go to.
Yeah,
So-
Tom, the people that call Tom, it's listed on the town website. So we give multiple different points of communication.
so Paul, if someone calls into those numbers that are posted, do you receive those calls?
Yeah, those are the ones I receive on this end.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So if someone were calling, they should call the numbers in white. The number in red may or may not get to us. Right?
Yeah, so if they dial any one of the exchanges that's listed under United States of America, any one of those exchanges will get into the Zoom, and then
Yeah.
you just have to enter the Zoom meeting ID number.
Oh, okay, which is in red. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
I'll leave it here until the end of the meeting and I'll see if I get a charge on it.
Yeah.
Right, so as has been our practice, why don't we leave public comment open? And we will hear from people as they get on during the meeting.
Right.
So our next agenda item is Parks and Recreation. Looking for authorize the following per December 24th memo from Steve Ralston, Superintendent of Parks and Recreation. Set the fee schedule for 2021 programs and services. permission to include day camp trip vouchers on the prepay list, and supervisor to execute the Northeast Westchester Special Recreations, Inc. interagency agreement for 2021 program year.
Okay, could I just interrupt for 1 second? I apologize. The permission to include the day camp trip vouchers on prepay list, that was already done in our organizational meeting.
Okay,
It's just, this is a memo Steve sends annually and that, but again, I just wanted to point out that it was already done and these can be put on the consensus agenda for next week.
okay.
Got it.
Consensus. Okay, which brings us to the morbid task of updating the town on COVID-19 virus outbreak. If you've been on the town website, if you've been on Deputy Supervisor's Facebook page or my Facebook page, you can find references to the new county, what's called the dashboard. It's very easily read. There's a map with number of active cases on it. And what you can see the new cases that have come on. You can see a number of different other data sets. But suffice it to say, we're in the midst of a surge. And it started with the Thanksgiving Day holiday. It continued through Christmas and New Year's. And we still have not felt the full effect of the surge yet. I'm not going to get into specific numbers tonight because I do want to encourage people to get onto the dashboard.
Yes.
You can check it 24/7. It's there for everyone to use. But I do want to say that we'd love the vaccine is up and running and being distributed. And I'll once again, if you go onto the website, and I encourage everyone to do this, if you intend to get the vaccine, there is a form that you can fill out. It's basically a simple form, your name, address, birth date, and ways you want to be communicated to. And the state will contact you when your category is eligible for a vaccine. So that information, once again, is on the website. I guess you can, your physician could inform you when you're eligible, but this is a way to register with the state, and they will circle back with you when they get to your phase. We are currently in phase 1, which is all EMS, nurses, doctors, and hospitals. Northern Westchester Hospital has vaccinated up to 1,000 of their staff, and they will be a distribution hospital once we move into the other phases. What they did add just on January 4th, the other day, was they added to phase A a number of different categories of people. Doctors who run private practices, dentists, people who have face-to-face contact with people in the healthcare system. So there's a whole new eligibility group. I've been in touch with Northern Westchester Hospital and the county, and the struggle right now is getting the vaccine. As you know, it's a 2-dose protocol, and there's a concern that if they give the first dose, it's a month later you get the second dose. They want to be assured that they have enough vaccine to get that second shot in before they start bringing on new people. So it's going to be a learning curve. You can look at the national news. The rollout is being handled in each state a little differently. But right now in New York, the vaccine is here. It's up. It's being distributed to people in phase A. B will be police, fire, and the like. And then for the most general public, phase C would be 65 and older. Anyone that has any complications should certainly fill out that form, because on that form you can indicate if you do have any compromising conditions. And I'm sure that would push you up on the list.
And where's that form again, Rick?
Excuse me?
Where's that form again?
That form is on the website. It's on my webpage. I'm just trying to think. New York State. Yeah, I don't have.
If you don't have it now, just if we can.
Yeah, no, it's on the town website. So if you go on the town
Oh, okay.
website, there's a thing there. You click on it. It's basically an am I eligible site on the New York State dashboard, and it says click eligibility. And if you click on that, it says, excuse me, check eligibility. You hit that button and this form pops up. And like I said, it's very simple. Your name, your address, your birth date, and then a couple of questions about, are you compromised, in any way health-wise? And then the way you want to be contacted, text, email, or phone. So
I
that,
filled that out the other day. Like you say, it's quick, it's easy, it's well done.
yeah.
Hey, Rick, can you comment quickly? I've had some questions that I don't have the answer to
Mhm.
that, at times, as you and I know, we'll see like 24 overnight. And other communities, other municipalities don't have that high. I know we're a little bit different than a lot of communities in that we have, 5 or 6, however many different little zip codes within it. Are we finding any time that, like, for instance, my zip code is Yorktown Heights? If I get it, could I be put in Yorktown or here? That's the question that people have.
Right. And the answer to that is no.
Okay.
I mean, our numbers are our numbers. Early on with the health department, I pointed out to them that, in fact, Somers is made up of numerous hamlets, Yorktown Heights, Granite Springs, and all that is, the numbers that we're
Taken into
seeing
consideration.
are our numbers.
Okay.
And it does, once again, it does fluctuate. And the numbers we get are always a couple of days behind. And it's based on the date someone was confirmed as being positive for COVID-19. So, and people say, well, how can you have 24 new, but the active number only went up by 2? Well, because after a 2-week cycle, people drop off the active list. Okay, they've been through the quarantine and they're no longer active. So that's the explanation for that, because I get that question quite a bit as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So moving on to agenda item 2, authorize waiver of all plumbing permit fees for Heritage Hills Society to replace the generator at the Heritage Hills Activity Center per memo from Thomas J. Tuma, building inspector. So this basically, and we can put this on the consensus agenda. This is basically our generator that the town pays for that powers up the towns. And it's really not just the towns in northern Westchester. People have access to that shelter. So we're going to obviously waive fees that we'd be paying ourselves. So
Have we heard anything from our county representatives or from our grant writers or even from our assembly representative and state senator helping us with this? It just seems to me like that is a fair thing to help the town, because we're helping a lot of towns.
Right. So
with
to
this.
answer your question, all of the above, I've heard back from, everyone we outreach to. The fact of the matter is, we're not eligible for a grant. We went through this process last year. I did get back to the deputy commissioner in the Department of Emergency Services, Susan Spear, who is looking into, are there any other discretionary funds for the county to help us out with? So this would not be necessarily a grant. It could be some discretionary funds that they do have. But I did make that point, Rich, that this shelter not only serves the town of Somers, but we've had people stay there from Lewisboro, Yorktown, North Salem, and so I'm giving Sue some time to look into it, and I certainly follow up with her before to write a check for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anyone can go in and use it. So we're benefiting a lot of people. We'll certainly, if need be, of course, we'd pay our share. It just doesn't seem right because it's a large purchase. Somebody should share in this.
Yeah,
God knows we've seen them all campaign there, including ourselves, during those times.
Good points. Okay, so we'll move that to the consensus agenda. Now I know Rick and Linda have been waiting patiently, and I'm sure they took notes on our organizational meeting. But we're now on Highview Court, petition for zoning amendment. And at this point, I'll let Linda and Rick take it away.
Good evening. It was very enjoyable. I've lived through a few organizational meetings myself, so.
Enjoyable is not a word that I've heard people use.
It's always fun.
How did we do, Linda, compared to?
Patty did great.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I'm your favorite town clerk, Linda. I don't care who you work for.
So I know Surette's not with you tonight, but she did provide you with a memo. We had submitted revised zoning text as she requested. We went back and forth with her a little bit on the revisions, and also provided it to Roland. And I know she had gotten a comment from Roland. So the text that was submitted to you on December 29th was a result of that back and forth. So she says that in her memo. She also provided you with the language for amending the comprehensive plan that we've worked on with her. We submitted a revised EAF. We have submitted to you what, per our conversation with you last month, is now the proposed plan. And we provided you with some updated elevations. So I think we've sort of followed up on all the things. We also provided an updated EAF with changes Surette had requested. So I think we've provided all the things that we discussed last month and that you asked us for and that Surette asked us for. And in her memo, she has indicated the steps that you could all be taking as your next steps at next week's meeting. Declaring yourself lead agency. She prepared a draft lead agency notice, which she provided to you, and then doing referrals to your planning board and the Westchester County Planning Board. And then if you wish, setting a public hearing for February. So we're happy to answer any questions. I think you all have her memo and the documents that we submitted.
Right. So the town clerk and I had a meeting today and discussed this. And if we're really the timing of the public hearing. So I believe, and Patty, correct me if I'm wrong, we would have to take those actions tonight, declare ourselves lead agency and refer it out. And then set a public hearing for 2/11 because we need that amount of time to do public noticing. Is that correct, Pat?
No, well, yes, but it's also so that when we refer it out, if we refer it out next week at the 2/11 meeting, we'll be able to close the public hearing with the 30-day notice of the notice of the referral.
But will
With
you
county
have the,
planning, I'm sorry.
yeah, will you have the responses back from the planning board by 2/11? They won't have considered this until their February meeting.
Okay, I was just trying to save time.
Yeah,
We
No.
appreciate that,
To-
but
Referral
They-
now.
they're only meeting once a month now, right?
right,
Right.
So I guess their meeting is next week.
yeah.
Well, if we refer it to them
With
tomorrow,
Saret out, I'm not sure.
that's where my.
The, yeah, the agenda's already been published for the planning board. So
I was
I don't know their process.
I was just trying to be able to schedule that public hearing and know that we were at least 30 days out from that referral. That's,
Right. Okay, so once
Didn't
again,
work, sorry.
you know, we'll follow, I guess, our planner and, you know, Linda's understanding where we'll take these actions at next week's meeting. And yeah, I know you've worked very closely and hard with our planner, and that's appreciated. So does the board have any further questions for, you know, our applicant here? Once again, this is a zoning change from an R80 to a multifamily district.
I was just wondering early on, the applicant had done a good job, and we applauded it, reaching out to people in the area where the proposed building would be. I was just wondering if over the past month they have received any other feedback from the neighbors who would be directly affected.
I haven't heard anything from any of the, I've run into them casually around town, and they're all still comfortable with the project. The ones that I spoke to, their original concern, as you well know, was last month when the idea was tossed around that the police barracks might be placed at, next door. And if that was still viable, then, if that was something being considered, then, they wanted more information. But as I understand it, was agreed that this was going to be a separate project, independent of the other one.
Right. And it is. It's separate. You have your own application. As a town, we're going to look at the whole area, but not have to hold you up regarding the review process. So
We appreciate that.
But I
Yeah.
think it's a valid point that you bring up, Rick, which is that if, as Mr. DiNardo said, this might serve on, some people might consider it, sort of a entranceway into the main part of town, then at some point it might initiate a discussion of what do we see for other areas north of that on Route 100. What do we want that to be? As we earlier tonight had a conversation that involved the word vision in it. And I think that's an appropriate thing. But yes, that is entirely separate from this particular applicant, of course.
right. So it's not that we're forgetting to look at what's happening north of you, but in my zeal to get the police maintained in Somers and for you to move ahead with your business proposal and zoning amendment, I put them together. They are now separate and apart. I think the community knows that. You know that, Rick, Linda, you know that. And we will deal with the state police separate item in the future.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, then, if there's no, Roland, anything else the board needs to, Surette's memo, as always, very well put together and,
Yep. I think you stick with that timeline.
okay. Okay, so with that, we will move this forward and put it on our agenda for next week, at which point we'll declare ourselves lead agency. We'll refer it out to interested parties, and we'll schedule the appropriate public hearing date, put it that way.
We appreciate that, and thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. everyone. Thank you.
Take care. All right, the next item, number 4, authorize the supervisor to execute the proposal from Sterling Appraisals, Inc. for preparing a restricted preliminary appraisal for the assessment years 2017, 2018, 2019 of 294. That's my phone, my watch talking to me. Of Route 294, Route 100, part of the former IBM property, tax map number 17.19-1-1, Town of Somers, in the amount of $6,750 per referral from Roland Baroni, Town Attorney. Additional fees are documented in the proposal. So, Roland, why don't you just give us a real brief rundown of what this action is for?
Well, as the board knows, the property owner's been filing certiorari, and we may in fact have to respond in court because as they accumulate 4 years, they're required to put those on the calendar. That's the most you can accumulate. And we're looking ahead that one of those cases, the oldest, has to go on the calendar sometime this calendar year, 2021. And we feel we should be prepared with a preliminary market value appraisal of the property. The appraisal that you secured last year was for the leasehold with the school, which really does not give us an indication of what the property is worth. It gave us a good indication of what that very lucrative lease would have been worth if it was to go forward.
Okay.
Rowan, how long do we expect this to take until we get some numbers from them?
They're very busy, at least 2 months, maybe 3.
Okay.
Now, Roland, does any of the work they did prior, with the prior contract, any of that spill over into this?
Yes, some of it. As part of the prior work, the property was thoroughly inspected by the appraiser, and he won't have to do an on-site visit. So he's deducted that from the cost of this. This is less than what is normal.
Okay.
So that was taken into consideration.
Okay, that's good to know. So I'll ask you this, Roland, is this something, is it timely? We should move this tonight, or should we put it on the consensus for next week?
Next week is fine.
Okay.
I think that would be fine.
Okay. All right, so we'll move that to consensus. Okay, so moving on to personnel. I have some good news to report. Our officer, John McGuire, was promoted by vote of the town board this evening in executive session to sergeant. So congratulations, John. We look forward to many years of service from you, and it's well deserved.
Yes.
Anyone who's
Yeah,
had
I would like
contact with
to
him-
add to that, more than well-deserved. Sorry, Richie, back to you.
Oh, no, I was just going to say the same thing. Anyone who's had contact with him, but in the public or in an official capacity with the department, knows what an outstanding addition he has been to the town. He's had an effect. He's only been with us a few years, but I think he's already had an effect, as evidenced by this promotion. Sorry.
Yeah,
You know.
he's brought, a lot of good things to the department. He has a lot of experience. He's got a great temperament. It's well-deserved.
So I was muted when I asked, can I have a motion, please?
Enthusiastically make the motion.
To promote John McGuire, right?
I'll second.
To promote John McGuire as sergeant.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, enthusiastically.
My pleasure to so move. Okay, so current vacancies on our boards are published. They're on our website as well. Upcoming vacancies of expiring terms on Architectural Review, Parks and Recreation. I'd like to acknowledge the resignation of Mr. Ian Carnauer as a member of the Somers Library Board, effective December 16th, 2020. And I want to thank Ian for his many years of service to the town through the Library Board of Trustees. I'd like to acknowledge the appointment of Ms. Susan Dillon to the Somers Library Board of Trustees to fill an unexpired 5-year term ending December 31st, 2020. Acknowledge the appointment of Ms. Tracy Ryman to the Somers Library Board of Trustees to fill an unexpired 5-year term ending December 31st, 2023. Authorize the reappointment of Ms. Vicky Gannon to the Somers Planning Board to a 7-year term ending December 31st, 2027. Authorize the reappointment of Mr. Robert Carpenetto to the Somers Zoning Board of Appeals to a 5-year term ending December 31st, 2025.
Oh, 1 second, actually. Patty, is that Robert or Ronald?
Ronald.
I know it's Ron.
It's
Yes,
Ron.
Ron.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm here.
Okay. It should be Ronald Carpenetto.
Yeah, I apologize. Didn't catch that.
Well, we're going to appoint him to the zoning board regardless.
Whatever his name is.
Authorize the reappointment of Arnold Gaio to the Somers Zoning Board of Appeals to a 5-year term ending December 31st, 2025. Authorize the reappointment of Mr. Bart Lansky to the Somers Zoning Board of Appeals to a 5-year term ending December 31st, 2025. Authorize the reappointment of Ms. Carol Sirico to the Somers Partners and Prevention Committee to a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2023. And then authorize I think we did this.
No, we appointed her for 2020,
Yes,
and this
right.
is the reappointment.
Yeah, this is the reappointment. She filled the unexpired term, and this is authorized the reappointment of Ms. Susan Dillon to the Somers Library Board of Trustees to a 5-year term ending December 31st, 2025. I want to thank all these volunteers.
We're here.
It's
Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead and say it.
no, I can't.
This town runs on volunteers in my mind.
I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but you all know what I'm thinking.
Hey,
All right.
Patty, can I ask you a question, Patty? How did we end up with 3 members of zoning board having the same terms? What do they serve? They serve 5-year terms on that? Tom, you're on that board, right? Is it 5 years?
Yeah, that's 5. Planning is 7.
Right. And there's how many members on the zoning? Is it 7 also?
7.
So there should be like 1 or 2 a year, I would guess. Why do we have 3? Anybody know?
There probably, if you want my opinion, there was probably reappointments or vacancies that got reappointed to full terms.
Oh,
And therefore now it wasn't done historically, maybe correctly.
So if you look under current vacancies, number H, zoning board of appeals, 3 5-year terms ending 2025.
Or it was
Right.
when, again, historically, when they were all appointed, they were probably all appointed to a 5-year term. And those 3 didn't have unexpired terms and just kind of went through the process over the years. Could go either way.
Right, could be.
So I just have a question. Are we putting these to the consensus agenda? Or are we adopting these this evening?
Adopt them.
Adopt it now if we can.
Yeah, let's do that.
Then you don't have to print them. Yeah, let's just get it done.
So then you know your business.
We don't want to let them go, do we? I mean, we want to make sure we lock them in.
Exactly. They're locked in now. Okay, so I'll make a motion to adopt and acknowledge the appointments. Number 5 through 11.
Second,
Technically, you have to include 4, I think.
Right.
Well,
Susan Dillon,
she
I think
finds
we still have to do it.
4, okay, 4 to 11.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
So moved. Okay, moving on to the consensus agenda. Any questions on that? That'll be on next week's consensus agenda as well.
Any questions on the one item?
Yeah, they're pretty straightforward. Okay, public comment. Paul, anybody there from public comment? Tom, go check your charge.
I did.
No, I don't have anybody on this side, guys.
I did, and the only email that just came through was apparently something from Ted Cruz, so I'm pretty sure it's junk. But so nothing from any of the town citizens.
Oh, my.
Okay.
Ted
nothing-
Cruz here. I'm leaving
maybe
the-
he moved.
Okay, nothing in the chat room. Okay, thank you, Paul.
He's
So I'm gonna
looking
make
for
a motion-
friends. He's kind of losing them, I think.
I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, our next regularly scheduled meeting is January 14th, 7 PM. We will be having an executive session next week as well, but that'll be on the agenda when it comes out. Patty, I believe we're now have arrived at one of our favorite points in the meeting where you read us the announcements.
Okay, hold on to your hats. We're gonna be here a long time, gentlemen.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
So there's a message from the Somers receiver of taxes. Your second half of the school tax 2020-2021 school tax bill is due by January 31st. Tax hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can check the town website, and there's multiple ways to pay. The town of Somers Christmas tree recycling program has begun. Somers residents may drop off their recycled Christmas trees at the Somers Highway Department, 250 Route 100 in Somers. Free to all residents. Drop-offs are Saturday from January 9th, 16th, and the 23rd from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you need help getting your tree to the highway garage, you can call the Boy Scout Troop 228. They will pick it up for a suggested donation of $20. And there is a website. It is tinyurl.com/Y2WU7CJZ. Again, all this information is available on our town website. I don't know what kind of link that is.
Yeah.
We are Somer strong. Keep up the good work. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and socially distance. That's all I got.
And
Oh,
on,
that was fun.
on that note, I would just like to say that, we are in a surge. We're coming off the holiday season. Apparently, people, when they get together, take their mask off. They don't remain socially distant. We've seen it very close to home. And, it used to be the concern was large groups. That's no longer the mode of transmission. It's small, intimate groups where COVID is being spread. My goal is to live long enough to get the vaccine. So, and we're hoping probably roll out, everybody should at least have their first doses, I would hope, by June. I think it's going to be that long, unfortunately. But so the message out to the community, to all you young folks, old folks, and middle-agers and millennials, wear your mask. Use your common sense. Wash your hands as often as you can. And, there's no need to be standing next to somebody to have a conversation. Social distance from each other. we're all in this together, and let's all get out of this together. We don't want to lose any more people than we already have. So that's my my words of wisdom to the town of Somers.
If I may, I have no words of wisdom, but there is something I did want to say, which is that the incredible events yesterday in Washington, which we would never foresee, just could never have foreseen, just demonstrates the importance. We take sort of democracy for granted in this country. We don't quite realize that people around the world watch us, see how we do our business, and it filters down, obviously, from the highest levels of power in Washington all the way to small townhouses like we have. But it requires what I think we try to do, as well as all the years I've been involved in Somers, I believe everybody else here. Reasonable people can agree to disagree reasonably and respectfully, and you don't always get your way. Sometimes you think the other side just isn't seeing it clearly, but it does require, to make a democracy work, that everybody understands that there's always two sides, and respectful dialogue is the most important thing, and violence, of course, is never acceptable. And I think in Somers, everything that I've been involved in, even when it's become contentious, has kept those ideas in mind. So just watching that yesterday was just, I think, painful to any American.
Disturbing.
Very.
For sure.
All right.
So I will. Well, wait a minute. Let's end on a.
Sorry.
So hopefully by now you've seen the picture of the proposed granite pylon that we're proposing to put up as town of Somers signs. We're thinking about, I would like to see at least 4 of them get erected this year. So, I think they are monuments. They're going to be a monument to the town. It's a 7-foot granite monolith, Somers, name of Somers vertically etched into it, 1788 on the bottom, a carving etched on the back of it of an elephant. And as this moves forward, we will share graphics and everything with the public. But I think this is it really will make a statement for the town of Somers. So with that said,
Yeah, I say it's kind
Happy
of
note
exciting.
there.
It's an exciting idea. It's good news, something to look forward to
yeah,
for a change.
yep.
Mhm.
So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So
Happy New
moved.
Year, guys.
Let's get off
Happy
to
New
a
Year, everyone.
New Year
good
to you.
start. Yeah.
Good night, Somers.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, everyone.
Night, thanks.